Hello?
James,
Yeah?
this is Paul Johnson. Where you at?
Oh, I'm having some difficulties with the car that my friend is letting me borrow. The engine's overheating, so I'm having to walk down and get some Freon and let it cool off so I can open the radiator cap. So, it may be an hour before I can get there.
I'm only going to be here until about 9:15, so if you get here before then.
I think I can, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to as hard as I can.
Okay, well, there's you Uber down here.
Paul, I'm sorry, I can't afford that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm here. Let me know when you get here. I've got to leave. I've got the 9:30 appointment. That's why I wanted to meet at 7:30.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Is there a gap in meetings or something, or one that's dropped, or something that I can be your next meeting?
If you can make it, if you can find a way to, I mean, it may involve you having to sit here and wait all day, because right now I don't know exactly what, in all honesty, no, I don't have time. That's why I said this morning, but I will do everything I can to make time, but it's going to have to involve you being available immediately.
Being available immediately?
I mean, like I said, I can try to make time for it to fit it in, James, but I mean, you could at least call me today. I mean, I'm sitting here for 45 minutes without even a phone call.
No, I'm sorry. I had to step inside somewhere because the road traffic was loud and I could not hear my phone ringing. And by the time I felt it vibrating, it was too late. And it's.
Well, I mean, I know you could have called me to tell me that you weren't going to be here. I got here at an 8 o'clock meeting. I backed it up 30 minutes so we'd have more time to spend.
Paul, this just happened. This just happened. I mean, I'm trying.
If it just happened, you weren't planning on being here at 7:30.
No, I had been walking down the side. I had been walking down the side of.
Well, if you can get here in 30 minutes or so, I only need to talk to you for about 30 minutes and go over this stuff and show it to you. So if you can get here just as quick as you can, we still got time to do it.
Okay. I mean, can you give me the quick synopsis?
Well, I'd like to meet with you in person. I mean, I got the notes I want to go over.
Okay.
I'd like to show you.
All right. My phone says that I'm 0.9 miles from O'Reilly Auto Parts, so I'm trying as hard as I can to get there as fast as I can.
If you can get here before now, I mean, we can meet in 10 or 15 minutes, James, to go over this. There's nothing to I mean, there's no dispute as to what's going on. All I want to go over you is what you told the police that day. That's really all I need to go over with.
Well, that's super simple. Do you want to just do that right now?
Well, that's fine. If you want to do that, I can do that right now. Hold on, let me get my notes.
Okay, yeah, it'll allow me to sit down and catch my breath. I appreciate it.
When you first started talking to them, they told you they had a report that someone was in a house over there breaking in. They asked you if you kicked in a gate. You said you were over at your mom's house. You thought she was home, but she wasn't. They asked you where you lived or where her house was. It's 3106 Stone something.
Stonehenge.
Yeah, my writing's not that great. Pamela Brown Wright Bill lived there. Grandma's house before that. The gate was open. You knocked on the door. No one was there. Did you go in? No. Did you know you were coming over? No. I was going to surprise her, but no one was home. I don't know why she wouldn't be home. The question is, she usually home? Yeah. Last time that you were here, over a year ago, I just popped in from Los Angeles. I grew up in that house. He said, does she know you're in town? You said yes. Her sister-in-law Betty Brown had just died. You were in town to do some probate work. So he said, can you call her? And you said, no, I assume she was at home. She's retired. He said, do you have her phone number? And you said, no. Actually, that's kind of garbled right there. I don't know if did you say no?
Yeah, I did say no. Because
no, you did, because the next question was, you don't have your mom's number in your phone, and you said,
oh, no. That's because I just quickly with my thumb, like, turbo dialed it, because she's had that number for a million years, and I've known it for that long, and, I mean,
okay.
It's actually faster for me to dial the number than to scroll through my contacts and find it.
Okay.
I mean, that's yeah, like, you can check it.
I'm the same way. I don't know anybody's number. If it's not in my favorites, I have to look it all up, so I know what you're talking about. I guess, again, if you went in, you told them no, she had a strict rule that if she doesn't open the door, you can't come in. Asked if you were there yesterday, you told them no. Said that the neighbors were concerned, because you went into the backyard. They were afraid you were breaking into the house.
No, there is no backyard. The neighbors are full of shit.
But maybe he thought about y'all that you just went out of sight from the front. But that was the phrase he. I think that's the phrase he went to the back.
Well, let me.
To the side of the house.
No, there's no side of the house. Let me explain. This subdivision called Trafalgar Square, and this street in particular, Stonehenge. It was designed and laid out in a way to where they're all like these luxury retirement Tudor style looking gated kind of sort of houses that are all like fort looking. They're like, so there's no exposed windows. They all have internal courtyards that give them their daylight and skylights and that sort of thing. They're very nice. I mean, my grandmother bought it in '84, I think 5 years after it was built. So, it's a very lovely place. But the thing is that there's no yard period. You pull up in the front and you get out of the car, and the very first thing you stare at is a wall with gates going all the way down the whole street, and each one leads a certain way to a certain address, and they're all clearly marked. And I walked around and to the corner and to the front door, and it's that same old front door that's always been there that weighs 1,000,000 pounds, and I knocked on it, and it echoed loud through the house, and there was no response. And so I turned around, and I walked back out to my friend, and got in the car, and I said, well, it appears that she's not here. Now, previously to that, we had driven around what's called the service alley, because it's an industrial looking alley behind, that runs behind two streets of these places, because they're all attached side by side by side by side. So I wanted to go and inspect her recycle bin to see how many bottles and gallon jugs were in that thing, to determine whether or not it was a good idea to be stopping by at all. Because she has been a severe alcoholic since I can remember. My earliest memories at 3-4 years old.
Hey, Jesse, hold on one moment.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So anyway, I looked and it looked like there. I mean, there were a few, but considering that how few there were, like it looked to me like it was safe to proceed forward. Back down the service entrance. Back down to the. It looked to me like the lack of a full recycle bin, which is usually what it is when it's a bad week for her and her personality. On a good week, you see a lesser amount, and that's if she's there. I thought she was there. I called her brother. Her brother tells me she's still living there. He lies to me, as it turns out, because she's living apparently 15 minutes down some FM road from him up in some place called Ralston, if I'm saying that right. Up there by like Gainesville and Denton and all that. And she apparently built a house up there and on her new husband's land, and the stepson was living inside on an air mattress, and I did not know that until I hear all this later on when I'm told that, by the police, no, the stepson is just come in, and it's like, how'd the stepson get there so fast? And, it was like...
He came home just completely by accident. The police didn't even know who he was when he walked in.
He came home by accident. That's an oxymoron. He came home by accident?
No, I'm saying is when the neighbors called him, they had gone to the house, and when they walked back out, they went back and were talking to the neighbors, and they walked back over, and then he came walking out of the house. He said he had just got home. So he said he had just got home right at the time that this was all taking place.
Well, I don't know what to say to that other than if their neighbor was still Muriel Brown, Pam's mother, none of this would be happening.
Yeah.
Because I went over there to ask my mother, who, let's remember, it's my mother, and I believe I have a right to contact her and say, Mother, I have some questions that I'd like some answers to, because the subject matter involves you. And she has been dodging out on that, and everybody in the family thinks it's bizarre. Nobody has seen her. She's turned into a recluse, which is very bizarre because she was previously a socialite. So I don't even know what to say about that. None of it makes any sense. I don't know who this woman, frankly, even is right now. Other than the same thing she has consistently always been, which is severe alcoholic. She talks about...
You've explained that to me a million times. I understand it. You don't have to go back into it. I understand all that.
Okay.
Just going back to what happened that day.
That day. Okay. So then after where you left off, and it sounded pretty accurate, and...
You want me to go back to where I was?
If you like.
Okay. You said it's just a bunch of neighbors. It's a neighborhood full of seniors, and they tell you they're very helpful. They keep watch out on the neighborhood. You tell them that you don't know where she is. The last time you saw her was at the funeral in February. They asked if you talked to her since then. You said no. Are y'all on bad terms? Then you said some stuff about her boyfriend. I don't know. And you got to understand there's a lot of noise in the background.
What I said is if the boyfriend is there with her, and see, I didn't know they were married. She never called to tell me that.
I know you went on to talk to him. I mean, I'm just telling you I missed a few words right there because of the noise. But then he asked you if the guy lived with her, and you said yeah, and you was trying to catch her along because y'all didn't get along that well. And he said, well, that made sense to him. And then he asked if everybody in the car, if anybody had any warrants. He said no. He said y'all hang tight.
I don't like being in Dallas in the first place. I'm here for a death in the family scenario. Yeah.
That's James. That doesn't have anything to do with this part. So then the cop comes back and starts talking to you, and that's when he tells you that your stepbrother had showed up at the house, and you were surprised. He said he was there, and he said no. He said the screen was off at the house, and you said it was. You told him it was like that because he smokes dope in the house, and he's a piece of garbage. He's 33 and still lives at home.
Yes, it's important to note that you see, according to Pamela Brown Thompson Wright Dill, I'm the bad seed. I'm the bad one that does bad things. And if
But he lives there, James. So whether he smokes dope in there, it doesn't matter.
check Paul, don't do that. Okay, check his criminal background. Look up Jeremy, whatever the hell his middle name is, Dills.
You're not allowed to break into a trap house. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on there. I mean, whatever's going on in that house has nothing to do with it.
I need for you to get past this notion that I broke into that fucking house because I didn't.
No, my point that whether he smokes dope in there or not has nothing to do with whether you broke in.
I was only trying to make a snarky point to the cop that you see the irony in the situation. I am 37, blemish-free, and do super activism in Los Angeles with celebrities for a living. Meanwhile, this little piece of shit who was not allowed in that house, nor his father, when my grandmother owned it, because...
I know all that, James.
Okay.
I know all that. Hold on one more second. I've got another call from you. Hold on just a moment. Okay, James?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, James, the point I'm making with you, and I appreciate all the stuff that you're saying. You told me all this several times in the past. I understand the family dynamics. My point is that the only issue that I need to be concerned with right now is anything that has any relevance to the issue of did you make any entry whatsoever into the house. I don't care who lives there or what.
No, I did not. For the final time.
James, I know that. Okay, that's my point. But so I don't need to know the family history to answer the question of whether you went into the house.
Okay, well, all this stuff about is it the word I've noticed that you use in your vernacular the most is relevant, and
Right.
I think what is relevant here is the fact that everybody, you, the judge, the poor court coordinator, the assistant DA, all involved. And whoever this jury's going to be that's pulled in from there, oh God, I've got jury duty. And this, all of this is all that crazy woman's drunken abuse of power of the city of Dallas, just like my family has fragrantly done to it for...
Okay, James, I don't need to go back into all that, sir. You keep bringing, all you want to do is keep going back. I don't need to know that. I already know all of that.
I'm only trying to suggest here that she is wasting and abusing the court's time.
I do not need to be told the same thing about your drunk mother and your crazy brother. I don't need to be told that 15 times to understand it. Once you told me once, that's all I need to hear. I've heard it, I understand it. If I can raise it for you, I will. I do not need for you to explain that to me again.
Okay.
Going back to the story.
Well, Jeremy is not my brother. I don't even know him.
He's your brother, by marriage, he's your stepbrother.
I didn't know they were married until until the Carrollton police informed me.
And I understand that, and I heard him tell you that. So, going back to what he said, is that the neighbor said that the gate was in, and then you said, no, the latch has always been broke for years. She's too cheap to fix it. Then they told you that they were going to send a partner who's going to go back over there to look at it, and then they told you if everything looked okay, that they were going to let you go.
Which they did, and it did look okay, and they came back and they told me I could go.
James, while they're standing around, they just stand around talking. The other officer finally comes back. He talks to him that he tells the other officers that he's contacted the son, that the mom and dad were out of town, and that you weren't supposed to be at the home. And then they came back over and talked to you. Said, I got a hold of the son. Mom and dad were out of town. You're not supposed to be there. The gate is an old wrought iron gate. Didn't see any damage to the gate. There's a screen on the ground outside where the window's open. But inside, they look inside, and there's a dresser up against the window, and it didn't appear that anything had been disturbed. It doesn't look like anybody had gone in.
Mm-hmm.
Then he thought that maybe there's talk amongst themselves with them now, and they said maybe you'd seen the neighbor, and so you went back up on the porch area, and they talked about whether or not to possibly discharge you with a criminal trespass, and then they talked about just giving you a criminal trespass warning, and then
which they did.
Yes, I know they did. And then they're talking amongst themselves. They're talking about you're the son from a previous relationship. That they don't think you actually went in, and it could be attempted burglary. And then they're talking about the fact that they don't really know what your intent was. And then the cop's talking, and he says something about the neighbor walked up on you, and that they started to do something that I'm assuming you can't really hear. It's very muffled. I'll try to listen to it again, but.
I told them what my intent was. I was there on business.
James, I understand, James. Let me go finish with the evidence, okay?
Okay.
And then they cop ask you if you left with a white envelope or a piece of paper in your hand, and you said no. You can search me if you want to. I didn't leave with any envelope.
I said you can search me in this entire car. We consent. My friend and I consent to it, and you can rip it apart, and we will stand here as long as it takes. What are you talking about?
James, you actually didn't say all that.
Yeah, I did.
Recorded. No, it's not. It's on recording. Okay, I know what you said. So I wrote it down.
Well, then he put it. Okay.
Whatever version of these facts you have in your head, I'm telling you what's on the tape. Okay. Now. Then the police told you that they contacted your mom and her boyfriend, that she's not in town. You told them that you and the boyfriend have issues, and he said you're not supposed to be there.
He has no. Actually, let me pause you right here. I did some digging. I have her will, which she's my mother, that is, clearly now breaking, because actually in that will it says that I forever have the right to go to that house during business hours and Monday through Friday to have any inspection of the books of my trust that I want at any time with no notice, no warning, no nothing. So I have every right to be there, and I can furnish you with that document. It's at the Hall of Records. Also.
Make sure you have it Monday morning.
All right. I will be more than happy to have that document with me.
Then the police tell you that they saw that the window had been open, the screen was off. That the son told them that the window wasn't left open and the screen was on when the son had left. And then you told him again that that boy smokes dope in there. I'll tell you. Hold on a second. I got another call coming in.
I mean, this is stupid. If I was dressed...
James?
Yes?
Okay. He said that he told you that the storm door was open on the house, and that the neighbor said that he saw you kick it in, and you said I wasn't kicking it in.
What? There is no... No, she's renovated. There is no... There was, 20 years ago, a storm door. There appeared to not be one.
James. Okay, fine. You told him, and then you told him that you went up there and rang the doorbell, and he said it looked like you kicked something. He said, no, you stomped your foot out of frustration.
Yeah, because I thought she was in there refusing to open the door. I had no idea that and by the way, she wasn't out of town. I have now learned from other family members, she is permanently out of town because she's been gone for 2 years.
Okay. So they told you that they were going to issue you a trespass warning. You can't be there unless you're invited by your mother. Then you started bringing up the case from 2001 where her boyfriend and you got in a fight, and then he told you it's completely irrelevant. You're not supposed to be there unless you're invited.
No, actually, what Paul?
James, don't interrupt me again over this. I'm going to finish this, and that's it. Okay, I don't need to know the history of the family anymore.
Don't you want to hear the evidence that you can counter it with?
The issue about your fight with her boyfriend in 2001 will not be mentioned in this trial.
There is evidence that is, as you call it, relevant that goes along with this.
That's not it. So you start bringing that stuff up again, and then he told you that's your own can of worms to deal with.
What? Who said what? Who said what?
You started all this bullshit with him, and he told you that sounds like your own can of worms to deal with. You know, James, not everybody doesn't want to hear the history of your family every time the subject comes up.
Well, I don't know. All of Hollywood does, Paul.
Okay, we'll go to Hollywood then, James.
Well, let me go then. You're keeping me stuck here.
You can right after next week. And the police officers told you that they had witnesses over there, that your screen had been taken off, the windows open. It didn't appear that nothing was disturbed. There's a dresser against the window. It doesn't look like anyone went in. And you said none of this makes any sense. And the police said it does if you think someone was. He said if it does, if you had thought someone was watching you, what you were doing, you said nobody was at home. I just left. I ran around and knocked on a door.
No, the cop was being an asshole. I grew up in that neighborhood since I was 1 year old.
Actually, he was extremely nice to you, James, the entire time.
No, he wasn't. He was snarky and condescending, actually.
Everybody that says anything that you don't want to hear is snarky and condescending.
That I don't want to hear. Why? Because I'm sick and tired of hearing people spinning lies about me?
No, James, because when everybody tells you that your family drama is not interesting to them, you just don't care. You want to keep telling them.
I can't tell the difference. It seems like it's interesting to everyone involved.
It's not interesting to the police, and it's not interesting to me, sir.
It's not interesting to me either. Y'all are the ones that keep bringing it up and are hung up on it.
I've never brought it up, sir.
You told me when we met the second time that I think...
Moving forward, James. The officer told you not to go back unless you're invited. And they said they had someone that watched you go in there, a neighbor. You asked them which one. And he said the what neighbor question is always one from someone that seems like they're a guilty person.
There's a yes, he said that, and that's bullshit because I grew up in that house. I know the neighbors.
I know what you said, sir. I know what you said. I've listened to it. Okay? And then you didn't say none of that. You said, I want to go talk to him. Or actually, you said to her.
I didn't have to say it. I'm not obligated to say it. I grew up in that house.
I don't care what you were thinking, sir. All I care about is the facts, not what you were thinking.
The fact is, I have a will that says I can go there anytime I please, anytime I please. All right. All right, I'll be happy to. It'll make my dick hard.
His business. That you need, the next time you go over there, you need to call her and set up an appointment, and then they let you go.
Yes, she's correct. I do need to set up an appointment because we need to talk about this whole business about where the fuck is my trust, which is why I was there to confront her.
Okay, that's the end of the evidence in your case. So, have you got anything else that pertains to these facts on this day? I mean, you don't. The evidence is actually not too bad against you here. No one saw any evidence that you went into the house. So.
Yes,
I mean,
it is. So why is that's why I don't even understand why we're having why it's escalated to this level in the first place.
Well, that's why we're going to go to trial, James. We're going to go to trial and say that you did. You're not guilty. And if the jury doesn't believe you did, then you're going to win.
Okay, well, okay. So as my attorney, you know how like in the movie scene here, and you're going to coach me before we go in. So tell me how far I should go in explaining how much of a right I had to be on that property. But out of respect, I didn't.
Actually, I need to see this will that you say tells you can go over there anytime day or night.
I thought I sent it to you. Did it not come through?
I didn't sit there and read anybody's will because I've never seen a will that gives anybody permission to go to someone's house anytime that they want to.
Really? Well, you should check this one out. It also names us as Rockefellers, so you'll have some fun reading it. It's a fun read.
I know. I read the part about the Rockefellers, and it doesn't name you as a Rockefeller.
It names all of the heirs of Muriel Brown.
That's setting a time frame for the end of the trust, and it says until the death of the last of the Rockefeller family.
So what the fuck do you think that means, Paul?
Well, if I set a trust right now for my children, I can say that this trust is valid and it'll expire on the day that Bill Clinton dies. That doesn't mean that my kids are related to Bill Clinton.
Okay, that's not how my grandmother or how Passman and Jones law firm.
I read that part of the will. That's exactly what it says. So, and whether you're Nelson Rockefeller Jr., I don't give a shit. It has nothing to do with what you're charged with. And the only thing I'm concerned about is I don't care if you're a Rockefeller. Does that have some importance in your head to this case?
Well, I think it should concern all of the city officials. No, listen to me, please. Because I've been overly demonized here for years. This goes back years, and I'm not going to go into history. I'm not going to go into the history.
If you want to explain all that, you could have been here on time this morning, but I've got to go now, so I will see you Monday morning at 8:30. If you're got car problems, you need to get up and leave earlier or catch a bus, because if you show up late, I can assure you the judge will probably put you in jail.
Okay, well, I'll invest in my crystal ball, and thank you, Paul. See you at 8:30.